In early 2021, the world stopped to watch one of the most talked about interviews in modern royal history. Sitting across from Oprah Winfrey, Prince Harry spoke with an openness rarely seen from a member of the British royal family. What followed was not just an interview, but a deeply personal account of pressure, pain, and a system he believed had failed him. Harry described the intensity of life inside the royal institution, explaining that behind the palace walls, the weight of expectation was overwhelming. He said he felt trapped inside a structure that prioritized. For Harry, the experience stirred painful memories, particularly the fear that history was repeating itself. That fear, he explained, was rooted in the story of his mother, Princess Diana. Harry spoke emotionally about the relentless media scrutiny she endured and how its impact never truly left him. Watching the same press tactics being used against his wife, Meghan Markle, triggered what he described as deep anxiety and trauma. During the early public stages of his relationship with Meghan, Harry said negative headlines flooded the tabloids. He claimed the media environment became increasingly toxic, with stories that went unchecked and narratives that, in his view, were shaped by bias rather than truth. One particular headline, comparing Meghan to stereotypes and referencing Almost Straight Out of Compton, stood out to him as an example of deeply ingrained prejudice. Harry stated that these attacks were not only damaging to Meghan's public image, but devastating to her mental health. He claimed that when he raised concerns within the institution about Meghan's well-being, the constant intrusion, and the lack of protection, his pleas were met with silence. According to Harry, there was either no response at all or complete neglect. He explained that this lack of support became a turning point. The sense that there was nowhere left to turn ultimately influenced his decision to step back from royal duties. In his words, remaining inside the system while watching his wife suffer felt impossible. One of the most controversial moments of the interview came when Harry addressed discussions that had allegedly taken place about their unborn son, Archie. He clarified that he was not accusing any family member of outright racism. Instead, he said there were concerns raised within the institution about how dark Archie's skin might be when he was born. Harry described this as unconscious bias rather than deliberate racism. Still, he questioned how such conversations could occur within a family and an institution that claimed to represent unity and inclusion. To him, the silence surrounding those concerns was just as troubling as the comments themselves. Throughout the interview, Harry emphasized that his criticism was aimed less at individual family members and more at the system itself. A system, he argued, that was designed to protect the institution at all costs, even if that meant sacrificing the people within it. Despite the explosive nature of the interview, Harry made one thing clear: he did not want permanent estrangement. He publicly expressed a desire to reconcile with his father, King Charles III, and his brother, Prince William. However, he stressed that reconciliation would require honesty, accountability, and meaningful change. The Oprah interview quickly became a defining moment. It forced the royal household to respond publicly and sparked global conversations about mental health, media ethics, race, and institutional responsibility. Supporters praised Harry and Meghan for speaking out, while critics accused them of damaging the monarchy. But as time passed, the narrative began to shift. From the outside, some observers believe Harry has been quietly reassessing that moment. Royal commentators have suggested that he now regrets parts of the interview, particularly how raw and public his disclosures were. One royal expert described Harry as feeling embarrassed and remorseful, suggesting the interview was conducted at a time when he was deeply hurt, angry, and emotionally reactive. With distance, they claim, he has begun to see the long-term consequences of speaking so openly. The revelations shared with Oprah were deeply personal. Details about mental health struggles, internal family conflicts, and allegations of bias. According to reports, Harry now believes some matters may have been better handled privately. Since that interview, Harry has returned to the UK on several occasions. These visits, according to media reports, were attempts to reconnect and slowly rebuild relationships. Insiders suggest he feels he mishandled certain aspects of his public approach. One source claimed, "It's become clear that Harry regrets some of his actions. He wants to reset his relationship with his family and with the British public." However, that desire comes with clear boundaries. Despite talk of reconciliation, Harry is reportedly not considering a permanent return to Britain. Security concerns remain a major issue, along with what he views as an emotionally charged and distrustful environment. The idea of rejoining royal life full-time appears to be firmly off the table. For Harry, stepping back was not a temporary escape. It was a permanent shift in how he wants to live his life. And then there is Meghan's position. While Harry may be softening his tone, reports suggest Meghan is far less interested in returning to the UK or reconnecting with the royal system that she believes caused her harm. Sources close to the couple claim Meghan feels their life in the United States offers freedom, control, and safety, things she never experienced inside the palace. For her, the past is something to move away from, not revisit. Harry and Meghan continue to balance public scrutiny with private healing. Their story remains one of the most polarizing modern royal narratives, seen by some as courageous truth-telling and by others as damaging oversharing. What is undeniable is the lasting impact of that Oprah interview. It reshaped public perception, altered royal dynamics, and changed Harry's relationship with his homeland forever. Whether history will judge Harry as a man who bravely broke silence too much in a moment of pain remains an open question. For now, Prince Harry stands between. Here is a rewritten, lightly changed